So every time I do a motion video, I get a ton of comments asking for more motion tutorials. The problem is, I don't know motion that well, and there's other creators out there that know it so much better. So in order to bring you the best information possible, I brought in a guest who's a Motion 5 expert, the one and only Final Cut Bro, Dylan Bates. Welcome to the channel, Dylan.
Hey Serge, thanks so much for having me. I hope I'm a little bit, of a motion expert, but I don't know if I'm expert. I'm like a amateur expert.
Well, you know it a lot better than I do.
We'll go with that.
Before we get started, do you want to just take a couple minutes and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been editing in Final Cut Pro for about 17 years now. Before it was 10. And then I, saved up some lawn mowing money and bought Final Cut 10, and I've been editing on it ever since, so that's been super fun. And then about 2.5 years ago, I wanted to start a YouTube channel teaching Final Cut Pro, and I wanted to create a few motion graphics for it, so I finally decided, hey, I bought Apple Motion all those years ago, let's take a look at what it can do. And I found out it was way more powerful than I could have ever expected. And so since then, I've just become super passionate about teaching not just Final Cut Pro, but also Apple Motion every single week on my channel. And it's been an absolute blast. So I am loving the community that's building up around it. And I can't wait to share some extra Apple Motion info with you.
That's awesome. I think my audience is going to love it. So what have you got for us today?
Yeah, so today, let's go ahead and open up Apple Motion, and I'm going to show you some really powerful text presets that are built directly into Motion, and you don't need any kind of animation experience or anything like that. So opening up Apple Motion, it's always going to give you this project browser. And in here, you can actually select all these different variations of project files. So if you wanted to create a Final Cut Pro effect or template, you could select the Final Cut effect. Today, we're going to select the Final Cut title. And then in the top right, you can leave these presets at whatever you typically work with in Final Cut Pro. So if you're usually working with a 1080 file, I recommend that you build a 1080 project. And that just helps transfer the data a little bit better. So we have the Final Cut title. I'll leave the duration at 10 seconds and push open. In here, you're going to see the title, background, and the type text here. That always appears when you create a Final Cut title in Apple Motion. Now, I'm going to recommend that you delete the type text here layer, but the title background, we'll get into that in just a little bit. I'm going to leave it for now and then explain later why you might actually want to remove it. So, Motion is a pretty simple setup. You've got your timeline down here. You've got your library over here that's got some generators and filters, all sorts of stuff. We also have an inspector over here on the left side, and in here we can adjust properties such as position, rotation, scale, all sorts of stuff that I could get into and talk about for hours. But for right now, we're going to take a look at some amazing text presets that are built right into Motion. So what I'm going to do is select the text tool down here at the bottom, and I'm going to click anywhere in this viewer here and just type in something like subscribe to Serge. Now that I've done that, I can actually go over to my properties and find the position parameter, and we're just going to click on this down arrow and reset that parameter. So now that text will be directly in the center. However, our alignment is currently set off to the left side. So if I go back to my text settings, I can change my alignment, and then I could increase the scale quite a bit. So now we can really see that text. So we have our text in here. What if we wanted to animate it? There are a whole bunch of different ways you could animate text in Apple Motion. For example, we could go to the properties, add keyframes to our position, and move it around on the screen. But one way that I really, really love animating text in Apple Motion is the text sequence animators. So selecting our title here, we can go up to behaviors and go down to the text animation area. And actually just below that is the text basic. So everything underneath this text animation line is going to animate your text for you. So under text basic, we can find all of these different presets set up for us. All I'm going to do is select arrange in. And now you'll notice there is this purple line down here on my timeline. If I scoot back to the very beginning, you'll notice that all of my text is auto animating for me. And that saves me so much time rather than trying to deal with individual characters and get these animations just right. Motion has done it all for me. But what if we want to actually customize this animation? Well, the first thing we can take a look at is maybe we want this animation to be slower or longer. So with this arrange in purple bar, we can actually click and drag this out in length, and now the animation will actually be slower. Or we can also click and drag it to be shorter so it comes in much faster. So it's totally up to you how you want this animation to play out. Then going over to the left side, you're gonna see this arrange in parameter, and that is under our inspector here. If we push this down arrow, you'll see these various controls as well as this down arrow next to format. So looking at the format down arrow section, you can see that the position here is set to 93.8 pixels on the Y parameter. Now, what that is doing is it's animating from that point. So animating under the 93.8 pixels, and you can see down here under the sequencing, it's set to from. So it's animating from that value up into that main line. If we wanted it to actually animate out, we could change this from parameter over to 2. So now it's going to start off completely written out, and it will animate to that value. So this can be exceptionally powerful in animating your various text items. I'm going to go ahead and set that back to from. You'll also notice that the opacity is set to 0%. So again, it's animating from 0% and slowly fading in as the text comes in. Then you'll also see that there is this rotation parameter set to 40 degrees. So again, it's animating from that 40 degrees. So you'll notice that sometimes the text is coming from the top and the bottom. They actually have some variance to them. And so that is where this variance parameter comes in. If we click this down arrow, we can actually take a look, and you'll notice that the variance is set to 100%. So what that means is that while some text is starting at negative 93.8, it's going to vary it by 100% and have a positive 93.8. So again, this can be exceptionally powerful in varying how your animation comes in and really adds a lot of extra value to the different templates that you might build. So what is some practical use for this? Well, let's say we wanted to build a nice little subscribe animation. What we could do really simply is grab our rectangle tool, and we'll just go to the end of the animation. We'll click and create the scale of this rectangle to be about the size of that text. And I'm just going to reset that parameter to be directly in the center. Now what we can do is, selecting that rectangle, we can push Command and left bracket, and that is going to drop it down in the layer stack. From there, we can go to our shape settings and disable the outline. And let's say we want to give this a nice red backdrop so that we can really see the text. Now you'll notice that the offset is a little bit weird. That is because in Motion, all of our anchor points are set at the bottom of the title. This is annoying to me. I wish they'd fix that, but it is what it is. So to fix that, we can actually come down to our arrow tool and select the anchor point. Now I can actually drag this anchor point up into the middle of our text, and then we could actually just drag our title back down into the center. So now we have our anchor point in the center, and it's centered on our rectangle. Taking a look at our rectangle, we could actually round these corners if we wanted to, or something like that. And let's say we want to add a nice little animation to this rectangle. Let's go to our properties and find our scale parameter. I'm going to go ahead and click on this down arrow, and you can see how I can animate the X value here. I'm going to click the down arrow next to that, add a parameter behavior, and today we're going to select overshoot. Now overshoot is super powerful at adding a really dynamic animation to our stuff very, very quickly with very little effort is what I'm going for, which it takes a lot of effort to say that, I guess. So with our start value, you'll notice that that is set to 0%. That means it has a 0% change. If we take a look at our rectangle, right now it's set to 100%. And we want to actually negate that value. So selecting the overshoot parameter, we can set this to negative 100%. And now that overshoot parameter will start off at 0. However, you'll notice that the animation is extremely slow. So let's go ahead and shorten that up to the length of our title that is animating in. I'm going to select the overshoot parameter and push O, and that will trim it down from the right side to wherever the playhead was. So that is setting the out point. Now if we push play, we can see that that overshoot parameter is happening perfectly with our nice little subscribe to Surge text. So now that we've created this really basic template, we can actually publish this over into Final Cut Pro, and then we can reuse it over and over again. So what I'm going to do is push Command S, and that's going to allow us to save it just like any other application. From there, we could just call this subscribe to Surge, and then we could jump in our categories, and create a new category if we like. Today, I'm just going to select my tutorials category. We could also add a theme if you wanted further organization, but for today, we'll just leave it as none. From there, I'll push publish, and now automatically this has been published over into Final Cut Pro. All we need to do is open up Final Cut Pro, and I bet you this is going to take a lot longer than it should because we're doing this live. Okay, here we go. I'll go ahead and just drop this on top of this library. So now that I'm in Final Cut Pro, I can open up my project just like any other project. Then we could take a look at our titles and find my tutorials category. And in here, we'll see that we have this subscribe to Surge. So I'm going to just drop this in my timeline. And so just like that, we have this really beautiful template built into Final Cut Pro. Now, remember when I was referring to the title background at the beginning of this tutorial, the reason that you want to actually probably delete that is, let's say I want to use the transform tool. I'll select that with Shift T. And now I want to move this box around on the screen. Well, currently the way it's set up, if I do that, you'll notice how the whole background is also moving. So that is because we have the title background and the transform tool is moving that title background. So what we need to do is go back into motion, go ahead and select that title background and delete it. Now if we push Command S, those changes will be updated in Final Cut Pro. You can either reload your project or you could just reapply this title template back onto your timeline. And now I can move this around without adjusting the background at all. So that is the basics of building a template for Final Cut Pro using some really powerful text animation tools that are already in motion, as well as a basic parameter behavior to get a really dynamic looking animation without having any animation experience before opening motion ever. Hopefully that's helpful to you in some way. And again, I do have a whole bunch of Apple Motion tutorials over on my channel, and I would love for you to check those out if you're interested. And yeah.
That was super helpful. You just basically showed us how to make our own plugins.
Yeah, there you go. So you never need to buy another plugin again.
Yeah, so I'm sure many of you guys are already watching Dylan's channel, but if you're not, go check it out. There's a lot of super awesome stuff on there just like this. And make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much, Dylan.
Thank you so much, Serge, for having me. This was a ton of fun.
We'll have to do this again sometimes.